So it's like there's things that people go through in life that they are unaware of because there's no label on what they're going through.
Yeah.
So they don't know that they're suffering, but they are. They're suffering from a system that like is above them. So for like historically, you could probably talk about like maybe the suffragette movement, like life before that,
Right.
they were going through it. And then obviously you'd have like the civil rights in like the in America. Like before that, they don't know. There's no label on what they're going
Yeah.
through. That's why it was. But that's why you should learn. One of the best things for me when I was in school was learning about a poet named Langston Hughes. You ever heard this guy, Langston Hughes? Langston Hughes was a black poet in New York, and he would write. But it's not on the Leaving Cert. We just sort of picked him up when we were in school. Learning about that. Learning about like colonial structures and how the repetitive patterns of it. That's so important. That everyone should learn that, because then that teaches you how systems can like sort of like abuse power. That's what you should learn about historically, and then how you can implement that into like how you process media these days. Like that's how I try.
But do we not need to be careful about who wrote the book as well?
Yeah, but it's like,
And that's a single perspective too. It doesn't make it right.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think about like there's a book by Ralph Ellison called Invisible Man that talks about like there's like an opening scene in it that talks about he sees like it's basically like white people betting on black people in a betting ring, and they all like, and there's like an electrical floor. It's obviously like it can be seen as like being hyperbolic,
Right.
but learning about that from like the black person's perspective in America, you can use that in your own life, and you can say like, okay, this is how the systems are built. I think every child should learn that. Like I don't think like of Mice and Men. Like what do you learn about a Mice and Men? Like
I just read it and enjoyed it and got on with my life. I think you can't control where you were born or what family you're born into. So I think cards that you're given in life, you can't take someone else's cards and you can learn from stuff, but I ultimately think I'd be a lot more simplistic in my way of thinking. Maybe it's because I'm a bit older, but I trust my gut on things, because that's evolution to me, is what my gut tells me, what my instincts tell me. When I look at something and I think bullshit, I'm gonna look into it maybe, but I can kind of smell bullshit from my own life experiences in the past.
Yeah.
It gives me a good compass on what's right and wrong for me. I treat everyone well. I'm a nice person, and that's really all I can do. I don't really take on guilt from other people's pasts. Maybe that's narcissistic, maybe it's sociopathic, but I refuse to take on guilt from other people's past, because systems and stuff, I think if you're not happy with the system that we have now, then it's up to you to change it, or do something about it, or become part of a movement to change it, rather than taking on second-hand victimhood and using that to make other people feel guilty. I don't believe in that.